My new weekly schedule consists of doing a different passion for each day, and I have something different for each day. Video editing kind of goes on Saturdays a lot, but Saturdays are meant to be my catch-up days. Video editing does stand a lot in that, so I've been doing it twice a week, which I actually like, and it's been a nice balance. I have these videos edited and finished in a certain deadline and stuff, so I could keep the flow going, since I like to do monthly vlogs at least. I also like to try to do one video in between those monthly vlogs, zodiac observations of myself, or a lesson that I'm learning. That's a whole person. I thought that was an animal. Wow. I'm at a park. This weekend has been the most eventful so far out of the month. That rev up, that recharge before I'm a little bit out in the world again. This time, the person I hung out with 2 days ago on Friday, we met through TikTok. I love how it's already not on Bumble. Girls or guys, Bumble connections have not even long-term for me, or it's just been like really fleeting, like, okay, you're bored, here's one excitement, okay, and then they're off on their own thing. That's how I know I keep being in a seeking energy and things don't work out for me. Noticing connections work best for me when I allow them to come to me, because I've seen people be this way and it works out for them, but for me, I feel like a guilt. As I'm talking right now, I can feel the programming of doing things for other people for them to be in my life, having it be remembered. Connections only want me around if it's transactional. It's a really odd realization, like it's happening in this moment. I'm about to go meet the person again to go to the farmer's market. Love meeting people and asking what their zodiac sign is. If we get along really well, I'm like, what is this reflecting back to me right now? I can't not turn my brain off, okay? But yeah, I'm like, what is this reflecting? I don't think about it as we're hanging out, but I'll definitely think about it when we're done. I'm like, okay, she's a Virgo, living with a Virgo, so I don't know, something about it tells me that what I'm working on right now, keep on perfecting it. In a way, like the hangout also showed me how to not get distracted by my loneliness. By the end of the night, and with the help of my tarot, I got to see that a version of me I don't enjoy, which is more of like the victim, oh yeah, things don't work out for me, like that comes out when I'm around people who are like that. For me, I want to relate to them. Hard for me to talk about how excited I am for my life, how happy I am in my days, when the next person I'm in front of and I'm genuinely spending time with in that moment is talking about the hardships, the sadness. And there's one thing to say what you've gone through and really feel it, and I completely can understand like going back into your emotions to talk about your past. I do the same. It's when you're in the mode of not being excited for what's to come is where me and most don't align with who I'm meeting right now. Not holding her to it at all is why I'm hanging out with her again. I'm not holding her to it at all. I'm really grateful for what we do share similarities on, which I am focusing on. Loves having a dopamine house. Like, she allowed me into her space and it is just colorful, which feeds me. It feeds me a lot. So I'm really glad we relate on like a kind of inner child creative level. We're just gonna enjoy what this hangout turns out to be for the rest of the today at the farmer's market. We're also gonna pick up the painting that we did together because it's all fired up and ready, so you're gonna get to see that. We're also gonna go to a witchy store together, focus on what brings us joy together, and I am gonna note what the differences are, since I do feel like there are some things I can't talk about in my life, and if that's the case, I know that like if I'm not myself fully around someone, I know they're not someone I want to invest in long term. Will enjoy this moment for what it is. I'm glad because they're the first girl I I've hung out with one-on-one in Reno. Same for me with her, like being the first girl. So I also want to take that as a sign that I'm inviting more feminine relationships in my life. We were also talking about how we have friends in many states, and I don't know, that could also be a foundation for us as well. I don't want to, already start putting this and that onto this connection. When I start having these thoughts, I don't also want to negate them anymore. I used to also shame them for being excited about connections. It's so sad. It's such an inner child thing. Like, whenever I meet people, I'm always ready to see the best in them. How can they be in my life? How can we form a connection? How can we build on this? And then it's just really not the case. Most times I have to learn how to like temper in that excitement and just kind of be realistic. Like, would they actually be good for me long term? Or can I just genuinely see this as the other person I saw last month, as a muse, someone in the moment, and really enjoy that for what it is and hold no attachments. I think at the end of this, what I want to say is I don't want to hold any attachments. Things have also shifted within the house. I'm so grateful. I think there had to be this final straw breaking point moment for me to also flip a paradigm switch about my victim and love on her a little bit more, understand why it's feeling so attached. With all the expectations I was holding during July, it just got really intense. All the expectations kind of washed away when July went away. August 1st, I was like, I felt more relaxed. I can just see things much differently because now I'm relaxed. Me and the sister are smiling at each other. We're talking a little bit more engaging casually, which is amazing. The guy, things are more civil. We're more at an understanding place and pace with each other. Really don't want to burn bridges anymore, especially when there could be space for compromise and negotiation. Like, I know where I stand, I know what I deserve, but it doesn't mean that I need to make my surroundings feel less than because they don't own up to it, which I have done in the past before. And see how after me doing that, their shadows would come up from that, and it would just be a attack of our shadows just to feed the embers that burn the bridges. I'm trying not to cry. A lot of realizations as I'm talking aloud right now. Being outside in the green is very helpful. I didn't have these thoughts at all waking up. I didn't even think I had these thoughts at all. I'm so grateful for how long I got to relax. As soon as I flip the switch, please focus on the fact that they're letting you relax here. Like, in a huge sense, no one's actually bothering each other until the overthinking begins on both ends. Seeing things from a bigger picture, like, I'm fine, I'm safe. Truly, this is what I asked for last year. All of last year was to be in a place I can just relax. First got that, it was so hard for me to see it like that. I was just so used to being in chaotic environments. When I finally was like, holy shit, I'm relaxing, that's when a lot started happening for me. Reflecting back on the year, reflecting back since living in my car, all the rest I'm receiving right now, I literally wished for, begged for, for the past 2 years. So finally releasing all the pressure in the many ways. It almost felt like each month that I've been here, I've released a different kind of pressure. It's so nice to observe. I always thought it was just my fault that I'm wired this way. Always working until burnout, always feeling like I need to do more. Seeing each month break it down into the root of why I was feeling those ways. What's really helpful with these monthly vlogs is to really see what I'm holding on to, what I'm focusing on, and I also really highly think and agree that each birth house of my zodiac gets impacted when the sun season changes. I feel like that's why each area gets to be focused on, why I also get to see my life in such a pie chart way. I encourage everyone to start recording themselves however you want, but start noticing yourself in patterns, in fun ways. Like, if you don't want to use astrology yet, if you don't feel that call, you don't have to use astrology. If you want to use astrology and you don't know how, ask me a question about it down below. We'll see how our connection goes. I genuinely want to help people learn how to use their astrology to pattern graph in their life, how to actually see their life in a more spiritual way. I want to help people with that. Seeing my life go from completely faithless, like, I called myself an atheist, you know? I called myself like, no, I believe in the facts, like, you need to show me what's real. I had no faith in anything. Watch myself go from like that to this. I call myself spiritual because the difference for me is that religion feels like something to follow, but spirituality is following your own guide. I would love to teach people how to live a spiritual path through a weekly check-in type of thing. I would love to. If you're interested in genuinely leading a more spiritual life and learning how to pattern graph through astrology with each month with my help, please drop your interest below, because I definitely want to expand my skills on that. I'm so confident where I am at in the skills, which is why I feel like I've stopped doing daily divination on myself, which is crazy. I didn't think I'd ever see the day. It feels ingrained. Not that I don't need to do it. I still do my daily divination. I just don't do it in intensely recording way. Like, my daily divination consisted of 9 different tarot decks a day for myself. I would record 6 of them in a intricate way. It was a lot for my brain. It almost made me lose interest in it because I was like, oh, this is so much work. Now I do it at the end of the night. Now I do one in the day to start my day from a different deck each day. Night, I do my nightly routine with divination. Anyways, August is starting out very beautifully. Let's get this day fucking started. Let's get this month started, really. Look at the art I've made. I love her. First, this one was inspired by someone just on YouTube. I was just searching watercolor tutorial. Someone was drawing an image they took a picture of when they went on a hike. I took inspiration from how they started, the sky and the grass. The grass is not even the same color as what they showed the sky was. So I was like, okay, I think I'm starting like them. And then as soon as I put the grass down, I was like, oh, I think I might be on my freestyling stuff. Tree placement is inspired by them. How the leaves and branches are. This tree is kind of inspired by them. These are not. These are just my ideas at that point. And at this point, I stopped following the tutorial altogether and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I started to feel kind of disappointment that I wasn't exact with theirs. Stopped me from feeling disappointed. I just was like, okay, let's recreate this into my own idea then. Added these bushes here to kind of fill some space. Then I envisioned like a cute little fireplace in the middle. Then I was like, what would people sit on? And then I started creating this little like stoned circle seat type of vibe. Little bunnies came to mind. I just thought of like the lavender fest I just went to. Just saw bunnies everywhere area. And then just like cute little flowers. These were supposed to be violet. Violets hold a really special place in my heart. One of my childhood homes, the whole neighborhood was filled with violet. These are like enlarged violets, I guess. Violet heads. Recently, I finished this one yesterday. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of her. The rainbow was so much bigger than, like, how I made it is so much bigger than how it actually looked outside my window. But this painting was inspired by me. For me, outside my window. It was so cloudy out, but it wasn't raining. It was just super cloudy. There was lightning storms happening because of the fires that happened from California, and then just a lot of energies in the air. The sunsets here are immaculate, just surrounded by mountains. Such an insane scene every time. One night, evening, nice hue of oranges, pinks, so much clouds like covering this one area, staring at it, and then all of a sudden there was a rainbow. There was a rainbow in between the clouds on one side of my window. I was on TikTok live at the time and I was showing everybody I was on live with. I was like, y'all, look at this, I'm gonna paint this, envisioning it. I didn't even re-look at my video I took of it. I was just like, you know, I just try to think of it. Yeah, the rainbow went way bigger. The rainbow, in contrast to the window, is probably like this size, but it's okay. It's okay. The enlarged rainbow, there's a meaning for that. We're gonna go with. I'm super impressed with for myself is first the background. I was so happy with the background. The mix of colors and everything. It just, I'm so happy. And with the little rays of white, it just like adds as if there's just like sleek and shine from moistness. I don't know, moisture, I mean. Cute little birds. Okay, first this was supposed to be a bird, but it ended up looking like a sea turtle, and I was like, oh shit, well, okay, we're gonna go with that. And then I just added like the silhouette birds instead. This is supposed to be another bird. Yeah, I guess we're gonna look like a water dragon, sky dragon type of thing. We're gonna go with that too. The grays here are the telephone lines. I wanted to add a cute little bird, but this tree was inspired by the tree that's outside my window too. The leaves haven't grown to the top either just yet because it's really dry here. Thought of the bird that stayed in front of the window for so long this one time after I finished reading. Kitty made him a little bit of a chunkster. There's no fruits on this tree, but I wanted to add lemons. I was painting this on, I was painting the details online. I was talking about lemons for some reason. Oh, let me add lemons onto the tree. Life's giving you lemons. What are you doing with it? Everybody on my live that moment just said the most logical answer. Y'all, this is your reminder to tap into your fucking imagination. What do you mean I'm gonna make this with lemon? Like literally, like we could have logical answers too. And then for funsies, I was trying to draw Mary, my moonflower. The way that the green looked, I did not like it. Instead of trying to put so much design over it or detail to make it look like what I want it to look like, I'm just gonna turn it into a flower. Added all the sprinkles, and the sprinkles made it so much more cuter. And this like clear vase with sunflowers and then sprinkles of this, I just think it's so cute. That's what I've been up to. Diving into my arts, diving into my books. I've been coloring things, crocheting things. My green one is almost already done. Making the squares from the hearts for my crochet blanket. Speaking of my crochet blanket, I don't know who I'm gonna give it to. While I was making my last blanket, I already had the person I was gonna give it to in mind, which is the person who lives here, as a thank you. Was kind of debating on giving it to other person that lives here, the sister, especially since we're on good terms now, and I do want to say thank you to her as well. I think this actually made up my mind. I'm talking a lot, actually made up my mind. I truly thought low-key was thinking on such a romantic scale. My design is hearts, right? There are crochet hearts into squares as a blanket. Oh, by the time I finish this, maybe I would be able to give it to my next lover. By the time I finish it, that's when I'll meet him. I need to get relationships just out of my mind. They're imminent, as in I'm still kind of waiting for them. It'd be a great idea if I give it to her. For y'all who don't know, I love to give away my crochet blankets. I haven't made a lot for me to say that properly since giving away my first ever crochet blanket to give away. It just made me feel so fucking good. For me, while I make the blanket, it's so therapeutic for me to just, while I watch stuff, while I listen to stuff, while I wake up, while I go to sleep, like it's just so therapeutic. Something I have on me while I'm out and about too, while I wait for things, or if I'm just in nature, like I also, almost like my crochet follows me wherever I go. I'd be changing a lot. I feel the energy that the crochet blanket holds is just that energy that I'm going through at the time. The lessons, the love, the power through the challenges, those energies are in the blanket. I already have a blanket, the first ever crochet blanket I made is in Toronto. I'm gonna keep it. I thought I was gonna sell it, but bitch, no. That's my first ever blanket I ever made. I'm gonna keep that for myself. I'm even gonna add some cute little details now that, you know, I'm getting a little bit more used to crochet. I can definitely see myself continuing this little thing of mine. Make these queen-sized crochet blankets, give them away. Give them away to whoever, you know, is probably significant during that time I made it. Been here in this house for fucking way longer than I've ever imagined. Felt rushed because, like, why am I still here for this long? Like, I almost felt like it was my fault why I've been here for so long. So much pressure about like needing to leave here because I need to make it on my own. They've never, ever, this whole time, almost a year of being here, they never once pressured me to leave. I pressured myself in the moments where I was like, I need to leave. I don't feel good here. That was me. That was me because there was just so much I didn't know how to process and handle, deal with on an emotional level. All I knew how to do was leave. All I knew how to do was escape and just go to the next thing, burn bridges, go to the next thing. Being here and having them not even make me worry about that from their end showed me all the shadows and stuff that I was still harboring. I was just so used to not feeling I belong somewhere. There's so many months where I was so focused on the rejection I was feeling here, the people I was meeting, not having the connection here work out the way I wanted kind of way. I was focused on that rejection so bad. I just wanted to leave, but I didn't even have like an idea of where I wanted to go. I wasn't even certain about that. I didn't even have a game plan for my passport situation. Nothing I was actually prepared for. So it actually took a tarot message I listened to on TikTok, something along the lines of, wherever you are staying right now, if that felt like it was prolonged, that was for a reason, because if you're around a connection that's mirroring constant shadows to you and all you wanted to do was leave, there was a reason for that. Fucking hit me like a rock. The connections here are mirroring exact reasons for me wanting to escape a stable situation so bad. The people I'm living with reflect family members. With that awareness, it just showed me that I don't feel seen, I don't feel safe, I don't know how to set boundaries around these people yet, like speak up for myself. I don't know how to say what I want and just stand on that. I don't know how to just be in a place where we just see things completely different and are okay with that. I learned all of that here. Those were things I did not know how to do living or being near my family. Being in this house has not only helped me reconnect with my family, spent a whole year not talking to them. Being in Reno, being in this house, I reached out to everyone. My mom, my grandma, my dad, my brother. That was in the winter. How I'm still here and how my connection is with my family shows how much growth happened to me. When I first talked to my family, I already knew that I wasn't gonna have any expectations for them, that, you know, if they're still the same, I will accept that and I will honor that. I won't try to change them at all. I wanted to see how I was around them. The first little bit when we started talking, oh, they really want me around, they're gonna make the effort, that was just me. It's the fact that like they were in my life again, I automatically started breaking down those walls. Oh, it's okay, I'll definitely allow them to be how they are to me, even though I wanna like be excited and, you know, involved with them. How they are to me, I'll take it, it's fine. Even if I share the new things in my life, if they don't even understand it or get excited for me, oh, it's fine, I'll allow that. There's still all of that within reconnecting with them again. And with talking to my mom, to this day, I still can't have her in my life. Something that I won't get into with our connection. If I have her in my life, it's gonna set me back. Like, that's how I am with my mom specifically. And my grandma, actually. There's just a lot of weird balance and nuance between the two different types of things that my family require from me. Leading to now, I've realized and woken up to the fact that no, to be in my close circle, to be in my life, and to receive the blessings I'm receiving is to validate me. Is to validate my efforts, is to validate my story. My family has never, ever done that. And when I really saw that for what it was, through like a recent connection and through talking to my grandma for an hour yesterday, no, my family all still want to see me how they want to see me. They don't even see the growth in me. They don't even want to acknowledge the growth in me, build something new with me. They just want to like maintain what we had before we stopped talking. If that's what it is with each and every one of them, I will accept that and I will give them the exact energy they give me. A lot of people can be like, oh, that sounds so toxic. Why would you give people the same energy as you give? When you all you know are people who don't agree with you, who don't cheer you on, who don't accept you, who constantly reject you, belittle you, shame you. That's all I know. But for me, you know what energy I give people back? Happy, bubbly, encouragement, motivation, light. For anyone else who is just like, oh, I wouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that, that's not healthy. That's okay, you could think of it that way. You don't know what it took for me to finally say no. You don't know what it took for me to build the boundaries I have. I've had to build boundaries from hands-on experience, from constantly getting the shit end of connections, constantly overdoing it and then feeling resent because these people weren't able to give me what I was giving them. And most of the time, they didn't even know how. Matching energy is so important. I used to allow people to shame me for that. Oh, why would you can't do that. That's not healing. That's not healing. That's not spiritual. To each their own experience at that point. I'm not here to show you why I'm spiritual, why I'm living a spiritual life, and then have like certain things to protect myself. I'm not gonna get into it if you don't want to understand. This is my boundary with you too. If I feel that defensive energy is starting to rise up in me, I know I don't feel safe around you. Talking to my family recently, that feeling is still there. I never feel safe around my family. I never feel safe to share my true thoughts. I never feel safe to be myself. Like my grandma yesterday pointed out, she's like, you're almost 30, how come you don't know what you want to do with your life? That's simply because I don't feel safe sharing what I want to do. Because I wanted to prove to other people what I want to do, I would share my blessings with other people. I would tell people what I can envision my blessings to be. They would just like take. When I didn't achieve those big blessings yet, they're like, where is it? You're doing all this for what? Nothing? You say you're on social media, you're saying you're doing all this and you don't even have this and that? Because I'm not sharing those big things yet, because I don't have those big things yet. They don't have the vision I do. They don't have the patience for it as I do, or for me. This is all for nothing. They're so used to instant gratification, receiving instant gratification from my blessings. People used to make me feel bad for the things I wanted. And when I received what I wanted, people came for me. Like, you don't deserve that. You didn't do anything for that. This is why I can't just be sharing shit as much as I want. I have done that. And you know what that left me with? Living in my car and people laughing at me. You know, I don't need to share with anyone who can't even acknowledge me and the work that I did. Why would I share my blessings with you when you can't even validate why I received these blessings? I am no longer in that mode where you can use, I'm your family. You can't use that on me. My family has used that on me till literally I almost died. And were they there for me then? No. None of my family can use that on me. I'm saying this to you now. If any of you guys are watching this, you guys cannot use that on me. I've seen this vision for where I'm going and where I'm at for so long. After reconnecting with you guys, even after reconnecting with you guys, and not expecting any change, not expecting anything, you guys still couldn't acknowledge anything. Couldn't acknowledge the fact that I did the healing to be able to talk to you guys again. Couldn't even acknowledge how I look now. You guys can't make fun of me looking fat anymore, hey? None of you guys can do that, hey? Belittle anything else I do because I'm actually owning it now. I just want to say, except Grandpa, every one of my family members has been against me and my happiness. Everyone. No one in my family has ever tried to get to know me. No one. I don't owe you guys anything. Let's just say that. I don't owe you guys anything. I'm gonna leave that off with that for this vlog. I know that's a little bit like, but this one is getting a little bit longer and I just see how August finishes. I'm going all in on me now. Your girl went on a date yesterday. I ended up downloading Hinge. I've never had a Hinge before now. Using Bumble for so long. I stopped using Tinder like years ago. I haven't had like all of them all at once. It's a different vibe on there. I feel like it's easier to match with people. Conversations are not conversating. Y'all, to completely call myself out, yesterday was the first date in My first date ever that didn't end with sex. When the attraction's there, vibe is vibing. So easy for me to be into that. Last month really showed me that I can't operate that way anymore. Clearly it doesn't keep connections, and not to say like solely that will lose a connection, but I think sex has been so desensitized to a lot of people, especially the people I end up fucking having it with, and like it's just another person to them. Sure, it could have came with like some memories and things, but it's still like another body to them. I'm proud that yesterday didn't even end with a kiss. It didn't end with anything other than just a sweet hug, another moment to hang out. We're gonna be hanging out again soon. Yesterday was also one of those dates where I fully just said, yeah, these are my interests, this is what I like to do, this is how I want to make money. Before, saying all those things would carry awkwardness, embarrassment, like shame. It felt like it was so easy for me to feel belittled that opening up about my likes and what I want to do made me shy. It started making me insecure. Shooting it out there and then that's just who I am type of vibe. You can't change it. It's already part of me. You could tell he was a little bit thrown off. His background is more military, 9 to 5, orderly. He's also a Virgo. That type of like routine for that sense of security. Not to negate that in Virgos or anything. I'm very familiar with me and Virgos. The biggest difference between Virgos and I is I'm very spontaneous and impulsive. I don't need to have particular planning to do something. If I want to just simply go somewhere, I'll just go. There's no, oh, but I should plan for this, oh, I should plan, nothing. I'm literally like, okay, I want to go right now. Virgos, on the other hand, I feel like because of that meticulous planning, it feels like it holds me back. And I can learn like a thing or two about patience in that, but I also find that Virgos can learn a thing or two about just do go. Maybe that's why I'm meeting a lot of Virgos, because we're just meant to reflect that off of each other. I could see how that happened in the date yesterday. It seemed like he really enjoyed my spontaneous things, and then for me, I actually pointed out loud without thinking of Virgo in mind. I simply was like, thank you for like being so observant and like planning for this one part and one part. That's probably the most exciting thing that happened gearing towards the end of the month, but I'm glad this month had so much resting energy. The theme of the month, y'all, just being so aware of the pressure. Not like that was already happening for the last 10 months here, but in general, the way I've seen Reno in terms of my growth, if I were to point it out, it seems like every month I've been here, I've uncovered a different type of pressure, the root of it, and I've learned how to kind of release it. That's been every month. There's been like 10 different reasons I found pressure on myself. Wondering why I'm so lax now. It's because it's just awareness of the stuff that I'm holding on to, because now I'm actually in a safe space. I just want to give so much thanks again to the people that I'm staying with for the reason alone of not having pressure to leave. I was able to uncover so many things. The rest that I was able to enjoy, the first little bit of me being here, it was hard for me to rest. I felt very guilty for it. I felt like, okay, I'm not doing enough to like get out of this house. I'm not doing enough towards my future. I'm not doing enough for this. It took a few months for me to be like, no, you're actually here for a reason. Every time I got my passport rejection, it gave me like a month after to be like, okay, just rest. Then it would be like pressure about the passport, send it off again, feel a little bit tense, but like whatever, and then repeat. I wrote in my journal a few days ago how much I just fully surrender this passport situation now. Don't care about it anymore. I spent a year and a little bit just worrying about this passport, and clearly that just held on to like some type of angst about it, and now I just wrote it in my journal. I don't care how it's gonna end up. I don't care how it's gonna go. That's just that. Surrendering. It's the word that concludes this month. Surrendered. surrendered more, surrendering before harvest season. Lots of changes happened for me around in like the month of September. There's a lot of different reasons. One, like seasonally as part of the year. Two, I have a lot of Libra in my chart. When it's around Libra season, it's like a whole evolution happens then. How you want to be in the community, how you want to be in this world, and things of that such. Now, I'm gonna go grab some tacos. I'm grabbing tacos for dinner. Going to the farmer's market tomorrow morning. I surrendered about being here and finding out about myself every time. Why am I resisting it? When I got a message a couple months ago, you keep running away from yourself. And I think that's part of the passport rejections here, the resisting the rest, just didn't know how to be this new version that I want to be. Everything I'm calling in requires a more patient, graceful version of me. I don't need to work so hard anymore. I don't have to feel like my worth is in productivity anymore. Consciously aware of trying to release for a long time, for at least a year. Being here for almost a year, I guess that's asking, I guess that's freaking living in the manifestation I asked for, isn't it? Not in the way that you would expect. It's for me. This is exactly what I wanted to uncover. The tarot reading I had when I moved away from my hometown, and this is before I got into divination, I just wanted to do it for shits and giggles, and my friend at the time was really into this stuff. I thought I would humor myself with one before I moved. One thing that always stuck with me with what they said was, you are running away from yourself. To hear that message in 2019 and then hear it again a couple months ago, it was insane. I was like, oh, life definitely happens in cycles. What the fuck? Epiphanies. Part of the reason why I couldn't relax is because I am so used to just new things. I'm so used to having next thing to already go towards. As I'm already experiencing the thing I asked for, it's like an instant gratification, but towards my manifestations. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, I got my thing now. Okay, next. Thank you. I'm experiencing this. Okay, next. I had this like bigger picture in my head. So that gets me really stuck when I focus on that. If I slow down, smaller steps. This month has been more so uncovering that, learning how to surrender in the small steps. What better zodiac season to like do that through than with Virgo? Meeting so many Virgos, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. They're like, small steps too. Even the date last night, he literally, it was so crazy because I didn't mention any of these small steps and things like that to him, and he literally was like, yeah, I like to plan stuff like because small steps matter. And I was like, okay, universe, I get it, I hear you. Like, I literally hear you because this man right beside me just told me the same thing that you guys have been telling me for months. I see it, I see you. Small steps, okay. Thank you for watching another vlog. This is your first one. I really appreciate you watching it till the end. If you've seen multiple vlogs before, thank you for watching another one. It truly means so much that you keep attention to these videos. I love being heard. I love being seen. We'll see what next month looks like. Happy August. Beautiful August.